Hello and welcome. If you get the chance to find a coconut tree while you're in a tropical country, you should know that the coconuts lying under the tree actually have a delicious flesh and a very sweet juice. You just have to open them. I'm going to share a few tips on how to pick these coconuts since it is a lot of work. Here we see 4 different coconuts. I would choose this one right here, this big one, because I can clearly hear the water inside, and I'll shake it in a second, and there is no sign of damage or rotting smell. If you hear the water inside, this means that the shell is not broken and the flesh is good. So this is a surefire sign that you'll get good flesh and lots of water. However, it is not a prerequisite since younger coconuts will have good flesh and lots of water, but you may not hear it when you shake it. And I'll explain why later on. Much like this one. This other coconut doesn't look completely ripe yet. When I shake it, there's no sound of water. But it does look appetizing, and I'm going to try to open this one too. As I'm looking at it, there is no sign of rotting, and it doesn't look like the shell has been broken, there's no damage, and it looks rather healthy. So as I said before, I'm going to try to open it. As you can see, no rotting, no sign of damage, everything seems good and healthy. Looking at this coconut, it is clear that it has been on the beach for a very long time. I can hear the water though, but as you look at it from above, you can see that there is very dried up husk and that it looks quite old and it's been on the beach for a very long time. This one right here looks a bit suspicious to me. As you can see, this part is a bit soft and brown, and it does have a weird smell. When I shake it, there's no sound of water, but it still could be good. So I'm going to open it up and see what's inside. So now let's go to the beach. Cleaning coconuts isn't easy, but with patience you can do it. Place the coconut on a stable surface, like this one. Ensure that the coconut won't slip or move around. Find a good kitchen knife, since you will need this knife in order to remove the husk and crack open the shell. The best part about this is that you don't need any special knives or instruments such as machetes in order to clean this coconut. So what I like to do is start by making small slices and working my way down. As you can see, the coconut has 3 ribs. 3. You have to pick which one is the softest and start cleaning from there. So for me, this one is the softest and that one was a bit harder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make small slices and move the knife away from me or to the side to separate the husk from the shell. So I'm going to keep doing this, making small slices, and once I'm done with one side, I'm going to go to the other side of the rib and do the same thing. Continuing to make small slices, moving my knife to the side, and separating the husk from the shell. Take your time with this, don't rush. Make sure to not cut yourself, don't make any rough movements because this is very difficult to do. So once you're done with both sides, it will start to come off easier. So as you can see here, I already got one of the ribs off, and I'm going to begin with the other rib. So using the same method, I'm going to slice down and move my knife to the side, separating the husk from the shell. And I'm going to do that to the other side of the rib as well, and then I'm just going to simply take it off like that. So as you can see, we're already starting to see the nut underneath all of that husk. It's right there. So just clean off any excess husk and just keep going after this. Once you remove the soft husk, it will become easier to remove everything else afterwards. Everything will just start coming off rather easily, and you won't need to use the knife anymore or just to scrape it off a bit more just to get a bit more comfortable. get a comfortable grip and be able to take it off more easily, like this. So keep doing that until you get all of the husk off. So remember to keep making small slices, going in a sideways motion, moving in your knife in a sideways motion to separate the husk from the shell. Kind of jabbing the knife in between the husk and the shell, removing it from the shell, and then soon you will be able to take it off at once, like this. So now we see the coconut, and here we see 3 pores. This one is the softest, which is the germinating pore. The germinating pore is the pore that the coconut grows from and sprouts from. So as you can see, it's a very good coconut, and we are going to clean the rest of the coconuts. So now we're going to clean the coconut that isn't fully ripe yet. The husk of this one is much softer than the husk of an older one. As you can see, I can easily poke my knife through it. So we're going to clean it like we did the other ones, using the same motion, slicing and pulling to the side, cleaning off the husk. So here we see the coconut, and it looks like a very good nut. There's lots of water, and it's a good size, so we're going to open it up and see what's inside. So here we have the biggest one. This is a very mature coconut, and the husk is very hard. So we're going to try our best to get it all off. Be careful when cleaning big coconuts like this because the husk is very hard. So using the same motion, and we're going to do it on both sides, tear it off, and do that to all 3 ribs. This nut is about the same size as the other ones. I was expecting a larger one, but as you can see here, it's not much larger than the other ones. But it's still a really good size, and I'm looking forward to cracking it open. So here we have the suspicious one, the one with a bit of a rotten smell, the soft one. We're going to open this one too, using the same slicing motion. This one has also a very nice and rough husk. As you can see, there's a bit of browning that shows that it's a bit old. When I shake it, I hear water, so that is a good sign. Shows that the thing has not rotted. Now that we're done cleaning the coconuts, we are going to find the softest germinating pore out of the 3 pores on the coconut and start digging a hole into it. This will allow the water to flow freely out of the coconut and into the cup. Coconut water is used to support the endosperm of the coconut during its development. It is used in tropical countries as a refreshing beverage and has been sold to consumers as well. It is simply a drink and doesn't have as many nutrients or calories as the flesh. 100 grams, about 1 coconut's worth of the water, contains only about 20 calories. So now I'm flipping the coconut onto the cup. The water is flowing out pretty slowly, but don't be discouraged. That can just mean that the hole is not large enough. So do this to your other coconuts. Here I have another coconut, and I'm going to flip this one onto a cup too. This one is, the water's flowing out much nicer, there's lots of water, but that's only because the hole is a bit bigger. So don't be discouraged if the water doesn't flow out fast enough. So do this to all of your coconuts. Make sure to find the softest pore out of the 3 pores on the coconut and dig a hole into it. So now here we see, these are the 3 largest coconuts, the oldest ones that we had. The one in the middle is the biggest one. The one at the end was also it was the first one we cleaned. And then the one on the very end is the rotten one. So all of them are this one is the rotten one. So all of them are rather large, and they give a very good amount of water. This right here is the youngest one. I haven't poured it out yet, but I'm going to do that right now. So here I found the softest germinating pore, and I am going to poke a hole. I'm going to free this cup, and I'm going to pour the water out into the cup. So using the same method, flip it up onto the cup, poke a hole in the softest pore, which is the germinating pore. This is the pore that the coconut sprouts from. This is where the coconut tree, the actual palm tree itself, grows from. So as you can see, the youngest coconut actually gave a good amount of water. This just proves that you don't need to get the biggest coconut on the beach in order to get the most amount of water. As you can see, this big one also gave about the same amount. So each coconut gives about 100 grams. So now we're going to crack it open and see what's inside. So to do this, you'll need a plastic bag and a medium heavy rock, and just slam it on top, just like that. So the flesh of a coconut is extremely nutritious. They have lots of minerals such as zinc, selenium, copper, magnesium, and is a very good source of fat, carbohydrates, and protein. It is extremely healthy. About 100 grams of the flesh gives about 345 calories, which is good. It's very filling, and it's a very good snack if you're on the beach for a long time. So these are how this video showed you how to clean coconuts and how to crack them open, how to pour the water out, and just some facts about coconuts and the flesh and water inside. So this entire process, finding, cleaning, and cracking, is very difficult but worth it. Every coconut is a mystery and you can never know what's inside. Just make sure not to pick up a rotten one. Leave any comments below, and thank you so much for watching.